Tell me a little bit more about your sort of philanthropic efforts and how are you sort of closing the loop in terms of using Bitcoin as part of it or any other crypto primitive as part of it?
So we take effectively 10% of our profits, and we every year we allocate that to our philanthropic side. That organization is completely firewalled off from the core commercial, so there's sort of no interaction directly with them. And then that philanthropic side's entire um, purpose is to see um, Bitcoin circular economies that drive higher degrees of financial empowerment and inclusion, as it's really a catalyzing agent. So what they do is they're not the grassroots programs, but there's generally grassroots, programs in a lot of these frontier zones that are doing things like, education for kids, teaching the, small businesses or entrepreneurs, teaching women in, sort of battered or abused or even trafficking situations how to get out of it. And so there's these incredible programs that are usually on the ground. They're, small NGO programs, but have learned that Bitcoin can be this catalyzing event. And, the way to think of it is it's all the community building that normally, the United Nations or other people know, which is, access to education, access to technology, access to financial literacy and a way to be able to store your income, access to jobs, access to the global workforce, access to language literacy. These are all normal things that we know that do community building. But what happens is if you insert Bitcoin, it creates this curiosity because it's this strange thing where it's like you get it and you're like, it's money, I think. What is it? Can I use it? How do I use it? And it creates all these questions for, a young person in El Salvador or Nigeria or wherever. And then they start researching, and then they get more technologically adept. They get more like used to savings and financial literacy. Then they're now able to join the global workforce because they have, a way to be able to get paid to use their skills. So it's really, really interesting what it does. And so today we support, 40 different programs. We are, I think in 18 different countries. We've, directly impacted, I think something like 300,000 generally young people and youth around the world. And our view is, that should create these incredible outcomes of, economic improvement in those communities' lives.